GF and her family banned me from family vacations but took her ex. I dumped her and made her miserable. I, 37 male, have been dating this woman, 32 female, call her Amelia, for over 5 years, known for 8. She was working at our client company. We met during an office event and happened to work together for a few months. Back then, she was dating her childhood best friend. I was also seeing someone casually. Nothing happened between us except that we followed each other on social media. 2 years later, we again got the opportunity to work together, and this time she was single. They had broken up mutually as he moved out of the country for his PG and got settled there. I was also single, and after working together for a few months, one thing led to another and I asked her out and we started dating. I changed my job shortly after that because my company had strict rules about no dating with client employees. It's been 5 years since then and we have been living together for 4 years. We have met each other's families. She often tags along with me to my parents. They absolutely adore her. Sadly, I cannot say the same for hers. I still feel disconnected from her parents. They are just cold and weird. She has this little ritual kind of thing in her family where every year they go on a week-long vacation together, just immediate family. They were strict about it. No boyfriends or girlfriends allowed. At least, that's what I had always been told. She's always excited for this trip and they've been following this since they were small. They're 2 siblings and their father was not that well off yet. He ensured they went for one vacation every year. They continue to follow it even after they grew up and moved out. No matter where they are and what the situation is, they take one trip together every year. When she told me about it, I was fascinated. It's rare to find such a family bond these days. Until this year, I didn't mind her going for the trip and completely forgetting about my existence. I gave her the space. However, this has started bothering me. I mean, we've gotten more serious. Though we haven't made it official yet, we're planning our future together, talking about our engagement and finances and other important stuff. I've been wondering, why was I still treated like an outsider? We've been together for 5 years. Should I be considered family by now? A week ago, she took me to her parents' anniversary where they were enthusiastically talking about the upcoming trip. I asked them about the details and I realized they were holding back, especially her sister. I casually asked them if I could also join and they unanimously said no as if it was such a big deal. I was obviously embarrassed. Seeing me flustered, her father tried to intervene saying, "Don't get us wrong. You guys are yet to call it official. Relationships these days are so fragile. We don't want to invest emotionally before it's final." It was cryptic, though I got the message he tried to convey. I wasn't clear about his intent. I mean, what big deal if I tag along and later we break up? It's not that I'll take the family's secrets with me. Felt like they didn't want me to know the details, as if I was some kind of outsider who shouldn't know about their secret mission. Amelia was in the kitchen when this conversation happened. As soon as she came back, her sister informed her with a smug face that I wanted to join them for the vacation. To my surprise, she freaked out. She looked at me with that most disbelief as if I had done a serious crime. I tried to justify saying, "I just asked if I could join, not that I packed my bag and followed you." I don't think it was an unreasonable request. She immediately shot me down, looking genuinely startled that I even asked, and snapped, "No. You can't come. This trip is just for the family. You're yet to become one." Her words hit me like a slap. Not family yet? 5 years together and I was still just a +1. Someone on the sidelines. Without saying a word, I stormed out and drove off. She followed me home, which led to a blow-up argument. She gaslit me that I ruined her parents' anniversary by storming out. What did she expect? I stand there and take her their BS? I confronted her about my apprehensions regarding their vacation. I found it to be very mysterious. What was it that they were so protective about? Surprisingly, she calmly sat me down and explained that it was a non-negotiable family time and they didn't want their partners to take away the attention off their parents. She justified that it was just one trip where all 4 of them gave undivided attention to each other. To make me feel better, she added that her sister's boyfriend was also not allowed. It pissed me off more because her sister never had a permanent boyfriend. Her relationship never lasted more than a year. Even her present boyfriend had been around for just a few months, yet I was being compared to her flings. Our fight got really nasty and I didn't want to get down any further, so I just left and hit the sack. It's been 2 days. We're not on talking terms. She tried several times to discuss the matter. However, I didn't indulge. The thing is, I'm not feeling good about the whole stuff. Not only their vacation, but the way they sidelined me. Yes, we're not engaged yet, but boy, we've been together for 5 years. Doesn't that count? On top of this, there's one more thing that has been bothering me a lot. Her ex's parents. Both families have been friends for decades and his parents are always part of these events. I had seen them at birthdays, family barbecues, Christmas dinners, her cousin's wedding, and even at random weekend gatherings. They were more involved than I am, and I'm her boyfriend. It's so odd, right? I always have this itchy feeling about their presence, but she assured me that their past was over and that their family simply remained friends, which has nothing to do with Amelia or her ex. In all these years, her ex never showed up in any of these gatherings and is out of the country. Maybe that's why I didn't make a huge fuss about this until now. I can't stop them from being friends with Amelia's parents, but I'm not comfortable that Amelia hangs out with her ex's parents. This needs to stop. Either she needs to tell her family that she wasn't comfortable with this setup, or she should distance herself from her parents. I mean, yes, her parents are her priority, but so am I. If I don't feel valued at her place or with her family, what's the point of being with her? She's dismissing my feelings and calling me ridiculous and paranoid. She's saying it's just one trip and I shouldn't make a big deal out of it. She's assuring me that I have nothing to worry about, but I'm not feeling secure. I do feel manipulated. What do you guys think? Am I being crazy? Something doesn't smell right here. You've been with Amelia for 5 years. You live together. You've discussed finances and engagement, but somehow you're still not welcome? Yeah, okay. The math ain't mathing. Update 1. Looks like I wasn't crazy. She's a cheater. After engaging in this community, I was convinced that I can't let this pass. I told her I wasn't comfortable being sidelined, and if she was really serious about our future, then I'm gonna tag along. I literally gave her an option. Either I go with them or we're ending this. No, I wasn't being needy. I didn't even want to go. I was just testing how far she would go to trade off our relationship for the sake of their stupid vacation. She called me childish and tried to gaslight the situation and turn it around on me. I was adamant that you can call me whatever you want. I'm not going to back down until I dug deep into that trip crap. After multiple rounds of fights, she finally agreed to talk to her parents about this. I was like, very well. Let's see what happens next. Meanwhile, one evening, she left her phone unlocked and went to shower. I jumped into the opportunity and stooped right into it. My fingerprints were not added to her phone, but after a few tries, I was able to guess the lock pattern. I wasn't too proud of stooping that low, but I'm glad I did it. I discovered something very heinous. I went straight into her family chat group to see what talks she had been having with them after we fought over vacations. She had told them I wanted to go and her family had freaked out. Her mom had replied, "No, you have to stop him. He can't come. He's gonna ruin everything." She told them that I was becoming a pain in the butt and wanted to break up if she didn't listen to me. To this, her sister said, "Good for you, right?" With tons of confusing emoticons. I have no idea what they mean. Then there was one text where she said, "I can't do this. I'm happy with him, my name," and her father replied, "You promised to give it a shot. Take a call after the trip." I didn't understand the conversation fully, so I took as many pictures as I could to read it later. Then the trip itinerary caught my eye, which her sister had shared. I quickly transferred to my phone. I checked her gallery, emails, and other folders but found nothing at all. I walked off all the evidence of tampering and kept the phone back. Later, after she went to bed, I opened the trip itinerary and the hotel booking blew my mind. 5 rooms booked, 1 in the name of her parents, 1 for Amelia and her sister, 1 for Ryan, her ex, and 1 for his parents. So her ex and his parents were also part of the trip, but I'm not. I was seething with anger. I felt as if someone punched me in the guts and I was sweating so badly that I felt I would collapse right away. It was no longer about the vacation anymore. She was cheating on me and her entire family knew about it. I didn't confront her. I didn't rage or argue. Instead, I shut down emotionally. I wanted to walk out of the relationship right there, but something in me wanted to hurt her as badly as I was hurt. I decided to remain quiet and plan my revenge. We were anyway fighting, so it'd be easier to pretend like nothing happened, but it wasn't easy at all. I couldn't bear to see her face without feeling disgusted. The next day, after she went to work, I packed my essential stuff and checked into a hotel. I felt I had already moved on from this relationship. Yes, I had mentally checked out already. The way she had acted about the whole vacation thing and how she sidelined me, I decided to break up with her, and this truth was the last nail in the coffin. I texted her that I was going on a week-long work trip and she could have a peaceful vacation with her family. She barely questioned it and instead replied with a love-filled voice note. It was best for her that I backed off on my own. I lived in a hotel until she left. I immediately started looking out for a place to crash in temporarily. The moment she left for the airport, I went back home, packed up my stuff, moved everything into storage, and went back to the hotel. For the first 4 days of her trip, I barely heard from her. No calls, just the occasional obligatory text. "Miss you, babe. Hope you're having a good week." But then on the 5th day, she sent me this long emotional message about how much she loved me, how she couldn't wait to marry me and have kids. For the next few hours, she blasted my phone with calls and romantic messages professing her fake love. I ignored all of it. It meant nothing to me. They went for a 7-day trip, but surprisingly on the 6th day, I got a panic call which I blissfully ignored. Then she sent me this voicemail. "I'm home. Where the hell are you? Where's all your stuff?" She came a day early and was shocked to see the empty apartment. After like dozens of texts and calls, I replied, "I left something for you at the kitchen counter." It wasn't a breakup letter. Oh, no. That would have been too easy. It was a demand notice. Every single penny I'd spent on her. Gifts, jewelry, vacations, her share of the rent and utilities on some months. I'd listed it all out down to the gosh darn cent and I wanted it back. I added the note saying, "Maybe you could ask Ryan to put it in for you. I'm sure he wouldn't mind after the 7-day free F you gave." Her next voicemail was, "Please give me a chance to explain. It's not what you think. I didn't cheat." With howlings and beggings, after enjoying a bit of it, I replied, "Settle the money if you have any ounce of self-respect. I know I can't claim that money legally, but emotionally, definitely yes." She brags about being an independent woman who can pay her own bills. Sure, here we go. Pay what you owe me. She begged me to listen to her once before deciding anything, but I blocked her and said I have moved on and I'll only entertain emails that are related to the money she owed me. After a week, she emailed that she can't pay it all at once and needed time. I responded, "Maybe you should increase your per session rate." Since then, it has been silent. No emails. 2 days back, she sent me all the money she owed me and suddenly, I'm feeling rich. You know what I'm gonna do with that money? I'm traveling to the Maldives. The amount can cover a week-long luxury trip to a private island resort. I can't tell you how happy and free I'm feeling. I was stuck in that relationship not being able to move on. I always used to feel that something is not fitting well and see my instincts were true. She was seeing her ex behind my back and her whole effing family knew about it. When I first uncovered the truth, it was so humiliating and pathetic that I wanted to bury my head in the ground. Glad I didn't let her walk all over me and now I'm happily planning my luxurious vacation. A text from her dad? Straight up confirmation that you were just a placeholder while she played house with her ex. You trusting your instincts wasn't paranoia. It was self-respect kicking in. Enjoy them all, Deves. OP. You earned every second of that luxury. Update 2. Here's an update on this. 1 clarification. I'm not proud of, but all the below-the-belt insults that I threw at her. I'm not the kind of person who abuses this woman, but I'm also not the man who stands and takes BS. I'm not very proud of what I told her, but she wasn't a saint either. After I came back from my vacation, I have visitor at my office. Yes, it was Amelia. She had been chasing me to meet her once but I had blocked her from everywhere. Hence, she came down to my workplace where I had to meet her. I wanted to chase her out but she pled with me for one last talk. Apparently, she wanted to confess something. I gave her a chance since I knew nothing would change my mind. What I got to know was the cherry on my revenge cake. First of all, she had maxed out on both her credit cards on her trip so she had to take out a loan to pay me back. That alone made me weak. According to her, the truth was her ex had moved back to town after her parents had been pushing her to consider him again. He had come back from abroad successful, doing well for himself. Her parents set up the vacation so she could clear her head and decide between us. Their parents are friends, hence, they all feel it's better that Amelia is married to her ex. Can you imagine what sort of family are they? She and her parents used me when her ex was away and now that he's back, she curled up to him. Fine. It's her choice, but she has no right to keep me in the dark. She could just be honest with me instead of playing these dirty games. She tried to pin all the blame on her parents that it was they who manipulated her to give it a shot. I was like, okay, why are you so desperate to confess this to me? You did what you did and it's over. She wanted to assure me that nothing happened between them and that it was just talking and understanding each other to see if they could rekindle their thing. In her words, yes, she lied but didn't cheat. Why? Because they didn't F. It was so bizarre to know her stand about cheating. I laughed at her face and said, "Are you kidding me? You went on vacation with your ex and you're claiming nothing happened? You want me to believe this BS? How old do you think I am?" She sobbed and confessed, "I spare. It was just one kiss. I was thinking about you all the time. After being with him, I realized how loving and caring you are. I never want to hurt you. I realized on that trip that I love you." BS. She realized she loved me on the 5th day of the trip? What changed? I asked her with a smug. And that explains that long paragraph, or was it a guilt of a rough sex? And then she told me something which added up everything. On the 5th day, she walked in on her sister making out with Ryan. That's what triggered the sudden desperate love text to me. Not guilt, not loyalty, just the fact that her ex was already effing her own sister. The text was not because she loved me. It was because she saw the true color of her ex. The funny part was her sister and Ryan justified it to be a casual makeout as Amelia was still not committed to him. Can you imagine how twisted everything is? Ryan promised to be loyal to her once she dumped me and went back to him. Until then, he had needs that her sister was fulfilling them. The weird part is her sister also has a boyfriend who has no clue what's happening in that so-called family vacation. Hearing all this, I couldn't stop laughing. She pleaded with me to give it one last chance for the sake of 5 long years of relationship. I asked her, "Did you honor our relationship? If you did, you wouldn't have agreed to your parents' advice about getting back with your ex. You would have told me about this at the very moment when your parents suggested the idea, but you hid everything from me. I won't buy your BS that you were forced or tricked into this. What are you? A 5-year-old? No, you did everything in your senses. The truth is you were also swayed by his fancy job and fat paycheck. He makes more than me, doesn't he?" She started crying and begging me to forget everything and start fresh. I said it's too late. That ship has sailed. She held my hands and asked me to forgive her. I shrugged her off and stormed out of the waiting room. When she left, I was wondering why she wanted to get back with me. She can happily hop on with her ex, right? But no, I later got the reason. I contacted her sister's boyfriend and told him everything. The guy came down to meet me. He said he also found the whole vacation stuff to be so weird. The way they keep it a secret makes it sound so shady. And now we know the reason why. The guy had no clue that his girlfriend was effing her sister's would-be boyfriend or whatever. I don't know. He thanked me and said he was going to break up with her right away. I was like, man, run as fast as you can. A few weeks later, I got a call from him again. He informed me that Amelia's sister and Ryan were officially dating. What the F? I cracked up on hearing the news. I could only imagine Amelia's misery. She wanted to have 2 birds within the bush but lastly got none. She lost her long-term stable relationship for her greed, and at the end, she lost even that. I only thank my stars for getting out of this crappy family. Karma worked fast on this one. That's what you get when you play stupid games. Bravo for standing your ground and not falling for the crocodile tears.